بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قال فإن خلف الإمام في صلاة الفجر يسكت من خلفه عند أبي حنيفة ومالك رحمه الله.
Okay, explain to me what you understand from that day. So, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فإن قنت الإمام في صلاة الفجر يسكت من خلفه عند أبي حنيفة ومحمد رحمه الله تعالى. What do you understand from that date? Just I give you a minute, read it, try to digest it, explain to me what is being said there. What you understand, Luqman? Right. So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, correct? Yeah. The first thing is this, according to the Hanafi method, when do you read Qunut? You read your Qunut in Witr, you don't read in Fajr. Yes, when there is a calamity that has befallen the Ummah, etc., then you will read what? Then you read Qunut and Nazila. Now, we're not speaking about Qunut and Nazila. We're just speaking about maybe you went to a Shafi masjid. You went to a Shafi masjid. Or maybe a Shafi came to your masjid and you made the Shafi the Imam. And now the Shafi decided to read the Qunut in Witr. I mean, to read the Qunut in Fajr. Once he came up after Ruku, in the second rakat, he decided to read the Qunut loud. You as a Hanafi, what should you do? That's what he's saying. So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. فَإِنْ قَنَتَ الْإِمَامُ فِي صَلَاةِ الْفَجْرِ. If the Imam recites Qunut fi Salat al-Fajr, in the Fajr Salat, يسقط من خلفه in the Abi Hanifata. According to Hazrat Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah ta'ala, whoever is behind him, the Hanafis, the Ahnaf, they must just remain silent. They will just stand silent. Right? يسقط من خلفه in the Abi Hanifata wa Muhammadin rahimahullah ta'ala. They will remain silent. They won't say anything. وقال أبو يوسف رحمه الله تعالى, Imam Yusuf said, يتبعه, carry on from there. Yeah. What is the reason? يتبعه. He will follow him. Why? Because he is, you as a muqtadi, you must follow the Imam. What is your work as a muqtadi? So you, even though he is a Shafi, and maybe in your madhab, you're not supposed to recite the Qunut in the Fajr, but because he's your Imam now, you must follow him, right? لأنه تبع لإمامه, because he has to follow his Imam, right? He's saying, look here, he says, Qunut is mujtahad fi. Mujtahad fi means what? There's difference of opinion amongst ulama. Some ulama say you will recite it, some ulama say you won't recite it. So, since there's ikhtilaf between the ulama, whether you must recite it, or you mustn't recite it, etc. And here the Imam is reciting it, so you must also recite it, right? You got it. وَالْقُنُوتُ فِي الْفَجْرِ مُجْتَهَدٌ فِي. Right, carry on. Right. So Imam Abu Hanifa and Imam Muhammad, they said, no, you won't follow. They say, why? They say, why you won't follow? They say, clear, وَلَهُمَا أَنَّهُ مَنْسُوخٌ وَلَا مُتَابَةَ فِي. This mansukh. Remember I told you that in Ra'al and Zakwan, the two tribes that killed many of the Huffaz Ikram, the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam made qunut against them for several months, remember? Not several months, several days. And in the hadith clearly says, ثُمَّ تَرَكَهُ. Then the Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam left it after that. What did he say? Rasulullah sallam left it after that. So we say it was maybe initiated, or it was legislated, or it was instituted in the beginning of Islam, or maybe at a certain point in Islam, but then it was left out. So now also you must leave it out, right? It is mansukh. It has been abrogated. وَلَا مُتَابَةَ فِيهِ. So there's no following in it. There's no need to follow it. You can't follow something which is mansukh, right? Carry on. فيما تجب متابعته. What does that mean? Tell me, see if you can explain that to me. Standing is where? Which standing they're speaking about? No, when do the Shafis read the Qunut? After Ruku. So that's what they say. So see, to stand after Ruku, like you said there, it is wajib to stand there. So that much you follow him because that is also part of your madhab. That is also part of your madhab. So follow him in that which is part of your madhab. But don't follow him in the Qunut because that's not part of your madhab. See, they're saying, ثم قيل, it is said, يقف قائما, you will remain standing, ليتابعه, so that he may follow him, فيما تجب متابعته, in that which it is wajib to follow. There is wajib to follow, so you follow, standing. But it's not wajib for you to recite the Qunut, so you don't recite the Qunut, right? Right. Okay. وقيل يقعد تحقيقا للمخالفة. It is said that you must sit down at that point in time. Why? To show that you do not agree with them. That according to you, this has been made mansukh. According to you, this has been made mansukh. So you have to show that, look here, we don't agree with regard to the standing here. The standing is made mansukh. So we're not going to stand here. We're not going to stand here. We're going to show that we don't agree with you. So like how you say, Man kathara sawada qawmin fawa minhum. Whoever increases the numbers of a people, then he's from amongst them, right? So you must show that you are not part of this here. So you must sit down, right? But I remember I told you before, Kila is still tamriz. Kila, yuqalu, etc. Which shows it is a weaker opinion, right? So وقيل يقعد تحقيقا للمخالفة. It is said that he will sit تحقيقا, to show, to establish للمخالفة, that he is against reciting the Qunut. Why? لأن الساكت شريك الداعي. Because if you just stand quietly, when you like how they say in also in fiqh, السكوت في موضع الكلام كلام. السكوت, when you are supposed to voice your opposition to something, but you not voice your opposition, you just remain silent. So as though you are tacitly approving that, as though you are tacitly approving. They're saying the same thing there. You mustn't remain silent because why? The sakita, the one who sakit, sharikul da'i. He's like a partner in what this person is calling towards. You understand what I'm saying? Carry on. But they say in the first part, what's the first mazhab there? فإن قنت الإمام في الصلاة يسكت من خلفه. Yeah, that one. يسكت من خلفه in the Abi Hanifata. Right? That one. There you just stand and remain silent. That is the preferred mazhab. So there you got it now. As a Hanafi, if you find yourself reading Fajr and Namaz, she allowed. Yeah, that means you stand, you remain silent. You stand and you stand and you remain silent, right? This question here about at what stage should you sit to show your disapproval when the Imam recites the Qunut. Okay, so don't worry too much about that. At which point should you sit, because the fatwa is not on that. The fatwa would be what you say, the moment the Imam starts to recite the Qunut, you must sit. But you don't have to worry too much about that because the fatwa is not on that one. The fatwa is not on that one. The fatwa, as you said there, it says, wal awwal wal azhar. It is also one of the words to show that the fatwa is on this, that when the Imam recites the Qunut, you will just stand silently, You do not do anything, right? Well, all right, carry on. ودلت المسألة على جواز الاقتداء بالشفعوية. So now they're saying, what is saying? By the way, you see, we learn from this here, this masla, that you can follow the Shafis also in their salat. They wouldn't be discussing this masla if you can't follow the Shafis. They would say in the first place, look here, you as Hanafi, you're not allowed to follow the Shafis. The fact that they're discussing the masla and say that you must remain silent, etc., or you must sit, or you must stand, or whatever. This points to what? It points to the fact that what? That you can follow a Shafi in Salah. وَدَلَّتِ الْمَسْجِدُ عَلَى جَوَازِ الْإِقْتِدَاءِ بِالشَّفَوِيَّةِ, right? And also وعلى المتابعة في قراءة القنوت في الوتر. And it also points to the fact that you will follow the Imam in his qunut in witr. So if the Imam makes qunut in witr, right, like how the Hanafi make it, then also you will follow him, right? Have you got anything under the Shara there for that one day? Who was asked to fall out after
that was important.
Yeah. So that means what is showing, according to the Shafis, qunut is not wajib in witr, right? According to the Shafis, qunut is not wajib in witr. But if the Shafi still does the qunut in witr, you will follow him, especially in the beginning of the half of the month of Ramadan, etc. Remember we told you there, as the Shafi say, only in the second half of Ramadan, then you will make the qunut. So in the first half of Ramadan, if you make the qunut, what will happen? You will still follow him, no problem to follow him, even according to them, that it is not a wajib, you can still follow him. The next ibarat here is a very, very important ibarat. It gives us a very, very important principle. Read it next one, inshallah. كالفصد لا يجزيه الاقتداء به. Okay, لا يجزئه الاقتداء به. Okay, right. So what you understand, وإذا علم المقتدي منه ما يزعم به فساد صلاته كالفصد وغيره لا يجزئ الاقتداء به. What do you understand from that ibarat there? Think about it. What do you understand from that ibarat? Right? Right. Very good. You explained it, but you gave an example. But the whole principle is this: that you can follow. Listen to this very carefully. It's a very important masla. You can follow another imam in another madhab, no problem. You as a Hanafi, you can read namaz behind a Maliki, you can read behind a Salafi, you can read behind I'm speaking about the modern Salafi, not the one who have extreme beliefs. You can read behind a Shafi, whatever, as long as you know he does not do something that goes against your madhab. And an example I give here, in the Hanifa madhab, if you bleed or if you cup, you let blood, your wudu break. Now you know for a fact that this guy here, he bled. You know this person here, he did cup blood, right? He did let blood. And from there, he went straight onto the musalla and he performed salah. Then it will not be permissible for you to follow him. The same thing. You saw the man making masa on the socks. And from there, he went straight onto the musalla. He never disappeared for a moment where it was possible that maybe you could have washed his feet or something. Then you are not allowed to follow him. So when you know for 100% fact that this person here is doing something that is against and something that is contrary to your madhab, then it is not correct for you. It is not permissible for you to follow him. See there. وَإِذَا عَلِمَ الْمُقْتَدِي مِنْهُ, when the muqtadi knows minhu from who? Yani from the from the imam, ma yaz'amu, what that according to him, or what he claims, fasad of salati, the corruption of salat, al-fasti, like cupping, wa ghayrihi, or something other than that, la yajzihi al-iqtida'u bihi, it will not be permissible for him to follow him. So you know, like I told you, you gave the example of a person making masa on cotton socks, and here we know, according to us, bleeding breaks the wudu. Any other example you can think of that where you know that this guy is doing against your madhab, so it's not correct for you to follow him? Any other example? I can't think of any example. But anyway, so as long as like, okay, if you look at the masla of this one here, famous masla, you know, the ulama discuss, although there's a lot of discussion of this, but a strict application of this usul. We know in the Hanafi madhab there's no one rakat. That is mentioned, Naha anil butayra, that Nabi Sam prohibits from one rakat. Now, you know, in the Haramain Sharifain, in Ramadan, they read 2 and they read 1. Is it permissible for you to read witr behind them in light of the principle that is mentioned here? Will it be permissible for you to read your witr namaz behind the imam, behind a Shafi who reads 2 and 1? Will it be permissible? No, because here it says that you cannot follow him in something which you know it is not tabit in your madhab. Although there's a lot of discussion, some ulama say, no, the imam makes salam, you mustn't make salam, you must just continue. But that doesn't make sense. It means, we say, إِنَّمَا جُعِلَ الْإِمَامُ لِيُؤْتَمَّ بِهِ. The imam has been made it, you must follow him, right? Some ulama have given permission, they say, no, okay, you can make 2, 1. Some ulama say, okay, read what they made the intention of nafil, and after that you read your witr namaz again. But if you are a real Hanafi, and if you really abide by the usul of the Ahnaf, then what will you do? What will you do? You will not consider that witr correct. You will not, because there is it clear in the Hanafi books. وَإِذَا عَلِمَ الْمُقْتَدِي مِنْهُ مَا يَزَمُ بِهِ فَسَالَ الصَّلَاةِ كَالْفَصْلِ وَغَيْرِهِ لَا يُجْزِي الْإِقْتِدَاءُ بِهِ. Right? Then وَالْمُخْتَارُ فِي الْقُنُوتِ الْإِخْفَاءُ. The preferred thing in the qunut is to be silent, لِأَنَّهُ دُعَاءٌ. So like here is speaking now about the general Hanafi madhab again, that after witr, when you say Allah Akbar, then you read a dua, right? You must be that witr dua, you must be silent in that dua. Do not be loud in that dua. Why? Because ud'u rabbakum tadarru'a wa khifa wa duna al-jahri min al-qawli bil-ghudwi wal-asali wa la takun min al-ghafilin. Right? That is mentioned, we discussed this. Where we discussed this in Tafsir Ibn Kathir, right? So you will be silent in your dua. Okay, I see we've come to the end of this chapter. The next chapter is Babun Nawafili. The next chapter is Babun Nawafili. And we only got one lesson left, just tomorrow, because we're supposed to finish us up. So I think we'll stop there, inshallah, for the year. We will stop there for the year, inshallah. We won't start the new chapter. We'll start the new chapter one time in the new year, inshallah, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah Ta'ala accept whatever we done this year. If there was any shortcomings from our side, may Allah Ta'ala forgive us for the shortcomings. May Allah Ta'ala, despite our weaknesses and despite the weaknesses of our teaching, may Allah Ta'ala accept what we done. And we ask Allah Ta'ala to show this in our mizan, inshallah, subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it a means of shifa for myself that is not well, that I'm ill, and for everybody else that is ill. May Allah Ta'ala accept. Okay, so this will be the last lesson of Hidaayah Sharif for this year. Inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If all is well, Allah give us health, sihat, we will continue next year, inshallah. But subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanakallah wa bihamdika, wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. I request to ask from everybody, inshallah, to make special to ask from you also, inshallah, for the test that I will be undergoing and the treatment that I will also be going. Allah Ta'ala make it easy, Allah Ta'ala make it light, and Allah Ta'ala make it that's something that we can recover from very, very quickly, inshallah. Jazakallah khairan, ahsan al-jaza.